Hey there, everybody. This is Mr. Brissman. I'm here talking to you today about writing territories. Now, a territory is a location, a place of land that is owned or possessed by someone else. But in writing territories, we're talking about the things that you could write about that you have ownership of, the things that you possess that topic, that experience. We've all lived our own lives, our own experiences, and you are the expert on you. I'm the expert on me, at least I like to think so. And what we write best about are things that we know, things that we experience. I'm not going to write a great story or nonfiction piece about the Russian Revolution because while I know this much about it, I'm not an expert and I didn't live it. I haven't done the research to know it. But what I do know, what I could write about at a moment's notice, is about experiences of my life, how they made me feel, why I think they matter to somebody else. So what I did here for today's assignment is I copied and pasted the Writing Territories assignment and I plugged it into a Word document, and then I'm going to save it and upload it to submit this assignment. One way to gather ideas to write about is to make a list of your writing territories. These are things from your life that you could potentially write about later on. I'm not asking you to write a whole paragraph or story about each of these topics. This is more kind of a brainstorming list for you to say, if I need to come back to this later on, what do I feel comfortable talking about? What do I know? What are some things that I could just brainstorm now with no pressure to write on them that I could write about, maybe, possibly in the future? So, the directions are to highlight 10 of the topics, brainstorm a few ideas you might have. The example here is for under the fear topic. Maybe you just write spiders, heights, and maybe later, if you needed to talk about fear, you might tell a story about a time that you encountered a spider or that you had to confront your fear of heights or something like that. All right, so I'm going to start off the easy part by typing my name. I could probably type it up here as well, just because more times is better. Memories, I'm going to highlight this one because I can think of a good memory. This is probably the most in-depth one that just whatever you want to talk about. Playing, I'm going to do something to make that set apart. Playing, hide, and I can't spell, seek in old abandoned barn. I have a really good story about that I sometimes like to think about. I scroll down. I don't want to talk about obsessions or personal problems, although maybe you do. And that's the key is you pick the topics that are most engaging for you. I'm going to go with passions here next. Passions, sometimes people think that it has to do with, vampires that are sparkly kissing each other, but that's only one kind of passion, and it's a weird kind of passion. This kind of passion I'm going to talk about is servant leadership. It's something that I believe in very strongly, and I might even want to get more specific. Habitat for Humanity is something that I participated in which you're building houses for people that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford their own house. And that, to me, that was one form of servant leadership I've engaged in. Is it the only one? No, but it is something that I believe in, and I could tell stories about it if I wanted to. I'm going to look down below. Notice fears and failures. They don't all have to be things that are glowing or reflect upon you well. I could tell a story about losing my temper while in West Side Story rehearsals in high school. I don't know why it just changed font, but it doesn't really matter. I can fix that later if I need to. That's a story. Hurt my ankle pretty badly while losing my temper that time. Not my proudest moment. Favorite songs. It's not my favorite of all time. It's not like my jam, but I've always loved the song Amazing Grace. And not that I would tell a whole story about the song because it's not my personal thing, but how does that song connect to my life? How may a couple lyrics be useful to tell us another type of story? I could think of that. And maybe I've got some others that fit well too. Pets. I'm going to talk about Squishy the cat. Turtle. There's my alarm going off. I'm late. Turtle the cat. And let's not forget Chuck the turtle. Yeah, I did that, really. Teachers, school. Yeah, I could tell stories about that if I wanted to. Sports. I played tennis, soccer, and those were successful things. I did these pretty well, but youth baseball, I enjoyed it for a certain amount of time, and then I grew to feel very critical of it at one point. And it wasn't because I was bad per se. I was actually still pretty good at it, but I ended up not liking it. And I think nothing against baseball. I still watch baseball and enjoy it. I just didn't want to play it anymore. I have a story I could tell about that if I needed to. Games, books, authors, songs, singers, movies, food. You know what? Let's go books, authors. I love The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, and I might want to use that for something. The loves of my life, my future, a quote that I live by or love. I could go on and on. The key here is write 1, 2, or more things per category, but pick, as it says, at least 10 of the topics and brainstorm a few ideas. If your brain is going, you're like, oh, I got lots of things I could talk about. Feel free to go with more than 10, but do 10 as a minimum to get full credit. Save this document, upload it, and that should be all. We'll be using these writing territories, possibly, to help inspire you what you might want to write about for your personal story for your first literary nonfiction piece that we'll write starting tomorrow in class. I hope you have a great day. This is Mr. Brissman signing off.